Hey, hello, it's Jeff Hartman, the Neptune Man, and I'm coming from F35 Error.com. Hey, I remember you. It's good to see you again, man. Welcome back. Let's get off the tip, man. I'm glad you're back. Okay, what we've got is a tip, and I found this little snippet from a guy who basically found he had a hole in the black hose that leads up to the pressure sensor. So let's see what he had to say, and let's see if we can do it better. I finally identified the root cause of my F35 SUDS error. I found by a hole in the back of the black hose that attaches to the pressure sensor and runs down behind the tub. The tub rubbed a hole in the hose during the spin cycle. Inspect the vacuum hose first before replacing the sensor. Route your new hose against the back of the washer and secure it with tape or cable ties. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I can see what could be a problem, but let's find out how we're going to test this thing. First, you gotta watch the following video clip. It'll be right after this. If you get 0.38 volt to start and then 0.70 or so, pretty close, after the first fill operation, then your pressure hose is okay and you don't have to check it. If you had a hole in the hose, what would happen is the 0.38 volts would not rise since the hose cannot build up pressure on the analog sensor. So as water comes up, it pushes inside that hose, which goes up to your sensor. But if you have a hole in the hose, that pressure is just going to come right out and vent into the atmosphere. So the sensor will never see that pressure. And so you will not get that rise as your machine fills for that first fill operation. And this will save you time and effort because you won't have to pull the washer from the wall and unscrew all those screws on a big back panel and plus put them all back on. You can check your hose from the comfort of the front of the machine at the CCU. And that video is coming right now. Thanks, man. This is Jeff Hartman. I'm glad you made it back. F35Error.com. You have a great day. Thanks. Okay, let's take some measurements. What we want to do is take this lid off. So you got 3 screws on the back. And this is for the F35 or the SUD error. We want to verify if it is the CCU or if it's the pressure sensor. So once you remove those 3 screws, 9/32 screws, or T20 Torx, or you can use a 7 metric. Put this off to the side. Okay, here's our CCU right here. What we want to do is stick a screwdriver down here, pop this out so we can slide the CCU that way, and then we'll be able to get to the connectors that go to the pressure sensor. In the other video, I show you how to take this pressure sensor off and look at those readings, and you have to take the pressure sensor apart to get to those pads on the board. This way you can just look at the CCU, and that's what I'm going to show you in this video. Okay, it's Jeff again. I want to go over a little bit of safety. Because remember, whenever this machine's plugged in, we have power on the CCU. We have 120 volts, plus we've got the 5-volt rail, which powers up the pressure sensor. And what I do is I put a towel over here just to cover up this bar here. That way if you're leaning in here, you don't want to get a tickle if your finger touches one of your probes while you're holding it on. And I think it's less likely for measuring at the CCU. I was more likely to hit it when I was probing the circuit board in my other video on the pressure sensor. So just a little bit of safety. Make sure it's a dry towel or a piece of cardboard, a piece of wood, something that's non-conductive across here would be helpful. That way you don't get tickled. And then we can get this machine fixed for you. Thanks. Okay, once we slide the CCU down, we're going to have to take the wires out of this connector right here. Pop that connector loose, the holder. And then we're going to pull the CCU out like this. And last one out. I'm going to flip it around like this. Okay. I'll have to get a different angle on that. I'll show you where the pins are for the pressure sensor. Alright, there's the board up close. Go ahead and zoom in. Not too far. Right there, you can see where it says PS8 pressure sensor. Now the very first wire on the left is ground, And then the second wire is the actual level of the pressure sensor. Should be about 0.38 with the tub empty. And then the third wire is the 5-volt supply. I'm not sure if I'm going to let's go ahead and touch that. So the first one is ground. The second one is okay, so if we can go back out just a little bit so you can see the meter. Okay, so there's 0.385. Now if we start the machine up, get that back on there. Now there's some little holes in the board. You can actually stick the probes in there, and that helps keep them stable so they don't slide around. Okay, I can start it. There we go. So we start at about 0.386, and when the tub will fill, and then it will stop at about 0.7 for the first stop. So this is pins 1 and 2 going left to right on the PS8 connector, which is a pressure sensor. You should hear the water dispenser change the setting. Yep, there it goes. Okay, just turn in the tub, basket. And there's the water. And you'll see the meter start to go up. There it goes. And it should stop. It ends up being about 0.7. And as it sloshes around, it's going to change. So it bounces around quite a bit. So that's how you check that. And then if we want to check the 5-volt supply, I just go from pin 1 to pin 3. And turn my meter up. Oops. Pin 1, pin 3. The tub's moving, sorry about that. See if I can hold it. Yeah, 5.03. So, as you can see, it's pretty easy to check your pressure sensor. You should get about 0.38 to 0.4 with the tub empty. I'm going to turn it back off.